So, hey, I had seen some videos and some pictures recently of some people making these pretty neat, my glasses are really crooked, pretty neat folding buck saws for to take in the bush with them. And they had been pretty, I've seen a lot of people like making them on like power tools and like in their backyards with like very proper kind of tooling and stuff. I didn't really like it, and I thought I'd like to make one that's a little more traditional, so I decided to give it a shot. I started around, let's see, I went to Canadian Tire to pick up a few things at 6:30. It's now 11:30, and I have this. Um, so like I said, I had seen people basically having store-bought wood and dowels and this sort of thing. All of this wood is birch, and it's from a log that I had chopped a couple of weeks ago. Same log I actually made this spoon out of, and I had it sitting in my shed, so I split it, made these two cross members. I also made this dowel piece out of the same actual section that I split the spoon out of. And this is the folding buck saw, so I'll just take it apart to kind of show you how it works. It's a little bit stiff. I literally had just gotten it put together, so it's not finished yet. Everything still needs to be sanded. But essentially, once you undo the tension, of course, the only things are like really modern. Obviously I didn't make the rope. Obviously I didn't make the saw blade or these nuts and bolts. I mean, in the field you could substitute these things with. You could make wooden pins basically, or you could even use some sort of a spruce root as a twine to hold the blade in place. So this is the wooden dowel comes out. Everything still fits together pretty tightly. The idea is you have all these parts. I still haven't worked out what I'm going to do with the rope, if it comes off or what yet. The idea then is basically, the idea I had anyways, is you would bolt it together. It's not working so well right now with the rope. You would bolt it together like this with the blade on top of it, and then use the rope to pile the dowel to the top, and basically you have this very slim thing, which is not so slim right now. But basically you could even have an extra pouch and a sack for your axe and slide it in, or slide it in behind your gear instead of a big bulky saw. And then you basically take a couple of seconds to put it together. I chose wing nuts, of course, because you're out in the field. You don't want to mess around with a box screw or whatever. Fortunately, I did pick up Phillips head bolts, which I kind of regret. A flat head would have been nicer. That's put into place. The dowel, it doesn't really have any particular way to go in, but if you fiddle with it, you can get it fitting pretty nice. Basically, what I do is like squeeze that in place. And then this, you can hear everything creeping together because of the tightness. There we go. Okay. Whew. So basically, yeah, basically what happens is this dowel acts as a pivot that pulls these members outward this way, tightening the saw. And all you need is this rope at the top, so you're pulling in this way and the saw is being taut this way. And as you can see, it's pretty tight. It's a little bit of flex that way, but even the metal saw would have a little bit of flex to it. So now I'm going to just take this guy and I'm going to sand everything down, make it nice and smooth on the hands. This tightening device here, I made a small error when I put this in. I should have it double-sided. Originally, I was only going to keep it one-sided so that you didn't have a big thing sticking by the way. But the advantage of having a double-sided one, so I can stop it on either side, is that you can do a half-turn and tension, and that makes all the difference. I mean, the difference between this tension and if I tighten it halfway, whoops, sorry for the noise. If I tighten it again halfway, even there, I mean, it's just incredibly tight. This also may not be the best rope to use. It's kind of thick for this. Unfortunately, I thought I had rope here, but it's the only thing I had lying around. I actually had to take it off my, it was a lanyard for my axe that I had to take off. So, yeah. Now I have a pretty decent packsaw to take in the woods with me. I still have to figure out how to deal with this rope issue and fold it up properly. And like I said, I've seen a lot of people doing this in backyards and stuff with, you know, power tools and stuff. The only power tool I used is a drill, which I actually brought out in the other room. I drilled holes for the rope. I drilled holes for the saw blade, and I also drilled some holes for this dowel thing here. Everything else, I actually hand carved all of these pieces of wood from birch using my Moriniv companion, as well as my my Wetterling's Hunter's axe. It's a smaller axe, as you can see, but it's light in the hand when you choke it up. It's great for carving. And I also used a saw, which turned out to be not that great. This was a Mastercraft, you know, whatever, from Canadian Tire. It was $12 it was on sale, and it was too coarse. I couldn't actually get a saw blade motion going. Really, I was just going backwards and backwards and backwards. And I actually started using just this blade, and it was surprising because it looks really coarse, and I didn't know how well it would take. But I ended up doing. You can actually see here. There's a bit of a chunk here, so you can see where I started using the blade as opposed to the Mastercraft saw, and it actually worked wonders. For a while I was using it, I had just one handle bolted to it, and I was using the back end of it to do the sawing, and it worked incredibly well. So like I said, all I got left to do, sand everything up, make a new twist pulley, and I'm going to cut these bolts off as well to not have everything bolted down, and then I'll have a nice little packsaw for myself. One more thing. I should add, you know, where I said I carved these, people be like, oh yeah, I bet, you know, you just use a table saw or whatever. I'd just like to show you the floor of my office right now. That's what the floor of my office looks like. Nice big pile over there, pile there, pile there. So I've got quite a mess to clean up as well, but you can see, you know, these didn't come from a table saw. These came from my knife, and lots of hard work. I'm sure I might even have a few blisters tomorrow, but it was worth it.